it's Dawn here, and welcome to my little podcast, which is all about words and the words that you use, the words that matter to you. And we all know that words are so powerful. They can inspire, they can uplift you, and they can scar you sometimes. Um, but most importantly, the words that you use are a window into your world. And so the words that are important to you will be really will be a little key to kind of a door to what you're feeling, thinking, and how you manage and see the world. And my guest today is actually my lovely sister. And she is called Rachel Fleming-Campbell. And she's here to join us for a little chat about words and what words matter to her. Hi, Rachel.
Hi.
How are you today? You're looking
Today, uh,
fab.
today I'm looking fab, but feeling like shit. So
Oh,
no, I'm feeling like shit for not because not because of stuff. It is because of stuff, but not because of historical stuff, and because today's the anniversary of my mom's death, my biological mom's death. Today is 16 years since she passed away. So it's like I miss her, and I miss the fact that I miss the fact that I can't pick up the phone and call her and tell her that she is a great grandmother and stuff
yes.
like that. But
Yeah.
and I miss the fact that that I can't share these things with her, and
Yeah.
she's not around to see that I
Yeah.
am whole and I'm well and I'm doing better. So I miss those things, that I can't celebrate those things with her. So I miss that. And I
Yeah.
just generally miss her spirit, because she was a she was a beast of a woman, and I mean that in the most positive way. She was
Yeah.
kind, and she was ruthless, and she was loving, and she took no prisoners. So I miss that about her. So I miss that part of her. So this is the
Well,
reason for the crappy part today. But I'm looking good. So I'm feeling, you know, and I'm a Gigi. So yeah,
and you're a Gigi,
I'm
you've
a
become a
Gigi, and
grandma,
yeah,
which is a baby
I'm
is
a
so adorable.
I'm a grandma, which makes you a grand aunt, and your whatever was a month
I'm
yesterday.
great Aunt Dawn now,
Yeah,
and you
yes,
knew. And
there
it
you
goes
are.
with
You're a
my
great
it goes with
Aunt
my
Dawn.
glasses string.
You're a great Aunt Dawn, and she was a month yesterday, and she looks like she's 3 months old. I have to send you a new picture. And your niece put a big bow in her head, but she actually has hair for the bow, so it's quite interesting. So
Oh,
yeah, so
she's
yeah,
gorgeous.
she's gorgeous. She is. I tried to smuggle her, but her parents had beady eyes and wouldn't
These
allow me
parents who
to.
just won't let the
I
grandparents
won't.
take
I
the
know.
kids,
I heard. I
away from
tried.
America.
I'm
And
telling you,
now,
man. They were like, you need a passport and all of these things. And I tried. I got the social security number, but I didn't have a
just put
birth.
her under your
It's
coat.
just,
Put her under
exactly.
your
Like,
coat.
I could have tried, but never
She
mind.
was so, so
Yes,
lovely.
she is. She is.
Well,
So
congratulations on that. And I guess it must be tricky because it's such a lovely thing for you. And to not have your mum there, it must feel a bit sticky. But,
it's a bit sticky, but I
you
have.
know as well
Yeah,
as anyone that she knows.
she
And she,
definitely knows. She
so,
definitely knows, and it looks like we have another powerful one in the family. So yes, yeah.
yeah, we're
And
all
you
power,
You're all
power
power.
family for
And
sure.
yeah.
For
And
absolutely sure.
your niece was I couldn't do what she did. I gotta tell you.
In what
I
way?
know I did it 3 times, but I definitely couldn't do it the way she did it, and I wouldn't have done it the way she did
Just
it.
do a home birth.
Home birth, no pain relief, 10 hours, two midwives, a doula, and I'm like,
Wow.
hell to the no. That was not happening.
Do you know what? There's always a way. The baby's coming, and whatever suits the team, suits the baby, and suits the mum, suits
I'm
the birth
telling you,
partner.
it
So
wasn't gonna be me. Nope.
fantastic.
So yeah.
There's so much going on for you right now. So, what word have you brought with you that matters to you?
I've brought two words, but the first
Okay.
word that really has affected my life the most has been kindness. Kindness has been the one word that has impacted my life in so many ways and has stayed with me
Tell me a bit more
from
about the many ways then that
it
kindness has impacted your life.
from a child. From a child to now, I was taught that you should always be kind. And when you're kind and you lead with kindness, don't look for anything in return, and it will always pay dividends. And in my life, and I'm talking like I'm a really old woman, but in my life, I have seen, I have seen how this has happened. I literally have seen how being kind to strangers and being kind to family, but mainly being kind to strangers have opened doors for me and for other people without me looking for anything in return.
And that's the
And
thing, isn't it? Is kindness if you're looking for something in return?
if you're looking for something in return, it's not kindness.
I don't think it
But
is.
if you're doing it from a place where in an with an open heart and just doing it, that is kindness. And I
Yeah.
think in today's world and in today's generation, I don't think they know about that. And I know it feels like I'm being preachy, but it is true. I
No,
don't see kindness today, and that scares me. It scares me to no end where I don't see that. And that's how I was raised. You should always be kind. Don't look for anything in return. Just do it from from a place of generosity,
because
from
you
a place
can. If it's in your gift to do it, because
because
you
you can,
can.
because you
Yeah.
can. And I have seen it. I have seen it, Dawn. I have seen it with little things. I have seen it with big things. I have seen it when I was sick. I have seen it where people I don't even know have just opened doors for me, have done things for me. And I was just like, how is this possible? And my kids are just like, you're weird. You can talk to a tree. And then things happen. And then my kids are like, Mom, I went there and someone did this for me and da da da. And I just look at them and I say, just continue to be who you are. And this will happen. Just be kind. And they look at me like, I said,
But
just, just be kind.
I mean,
It
you're the
doesn't take much.
personification of the old adage of what you put out, you get back
Get
tenfold.
back. Exactly.
That thing. But if you're doing it to look to get back, it doesn't work.
You're not going to get back.
Absolutely.
And people are like, you're so lucky. And I'm like, no,
It's not
I'm
luck.
not. I'm not. It's not. It has nothing to do with luck.
No
My
such thing.
my grandmother, my grandmother, my maternal grandmother, Thelma. She said a piece of food, uh, some place for someone to rest their head. If you can do those things, just do it. You should never be reproachful. Just do it, and you can never tell where that will take you. And I have lived by that adage. And it's amazing. It's amazing, Dawn. The
Mm.
things that have happened. And I look at that and I scratch my head. And I'm like, I live in a little flat in London. And the amount of people who have come through and stayed in this flat and stuff like that, and the amount of stuff that has happened to me, and I'm thinking, wow. And then
Can
I
you give us an
watched,
example of that? Because,
for
obviously I
instance,
know some of it, but for listeners,
for instance, there was this guy named Gary. He was I don't know, he was a friend of a friend, and something happened, and he for some strange reason he didn't have a place, and I just knew him through somebody else. And I said, "Oh, no problem. You're more than welcome to come and stay here." I didn't even like, he was just a friend of a friend. And I said, "You're more than welcome to come and stay here." And not only did he stay here, he also brought his girlfriend. I was just one day I came home and it was him and his girlfriend was in the living room. And I was just like, what?
How long were you there for then?
I was just
And
like,
how did
what?
you feel when they were there?
I was just like, okay, no problem. And he literally said, and I still have he stayed there. He stayed for a little while. He helped, and he then he moved back. He stayed. Said, "I'm going to be here for a little while," and then he left and he went back to South Africa, and he left me this thing. I still have it. Footprints on the Sand. He left me this poem thing, Footprints on the Sand. I still have the thing that he left me. Hold on a second. Sorry, I'm gonna get up. And he went back to SA. Oops,
Mhm.
sorry, Dawn.
No,
Where
it's
did
okay.
where
It's
did
all
it
right.
go? It fell. Hold on. Oh, yeah, he left me this thing, Footprints in the Sand, and he went back to SA. He got married to the lady. They had kids. They got divorced. We're still in touch. And he left me this thing, literally Footprints in the Sand. And then he wrote me this letter. And the letter said, I read it. Am I allowed to read this?
If you're happy to do that, yeah.
And he wrote me this letter. "Dear Rachel, this is just a small gesture to say thank you for looking after me for the past 3 months or so. I'm eternally grateful for your kindness and you have helped me through a tough period of my life. There are unfortunately no words that can describe how much this has meant to me, and these flowers are all I can do for now. I will obviously stay in touch, and I will be thinking of you and the girls often. We have both been through a lot over the past little while, and now it is almost time for us to step up and take charge of our lives again. This period of our lives is and was just a time when we both needed to be carried, and you have certainly helped me in that regard. One day I hope to be able to extend my hand to you too, if need be. I wish you all the happiness and success for the future, and I hope that you will find in life what you have always known, but never quite believed. God bless you, friend Gary." And this is what he wrote. And he left
That's
me his footprints in the sand. Yeah,
And is that the fable of when, you're walking with Jesus and you're like, there's only one set of footprints, you weren't
footprints.
there.
Yeah,
And he's
that's when
like,
he
no,
wrote.
I was
Yeah,
carrying you
yeah,
at
yeah,
that point. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
That's what he did. So
How
this is
sweet.
just one. This is just one example of like one person who I let stay in my flat room. I didn't know, like he was just someone who, like a friend of a friend of a friend, and he needed some place to stay. And I'm like, okay, fine, you can come and stay. And everyone's looking at, do you know him? I'm like, well, no, not really. But he needed some place. I had a place. So he could stay, and we're still in touch with each other.
That
He's
is
now
so
doing
kind.
great things. Yeah, great things in South Africa. If I need to go to South Africa ever, I guess I have a place to stay if I need that. Do you know what I mean? But that was not the intent. The intent was
No,
just,
no,
you know, and I think when I look at that kind of stuff, I think we're missing that. We're so busy being me centric, and we're so busy
yes,
being, let me just look at me and mine, that
yeah,
we're not looking at the collective. And I think if
no,
we did more of the collective, we would be in a much better place.
agreed.
And like my neighbor is close to 80. She speaks very little English, but I help her because there's no one there for her. So like I came, like I literally landed, and the moment I landed, she got sick. So even if I was jet lag, whatever it was, I knew that I just had to do what was necessary because there was no one there to take care of her. So I did what I had to do. And it wasn't because or else what was going to happen? Do you know what I mean? It was a kindness thing. It wasn't like, oh, must blah blah. Do you know what I mean? I'm not it's not
Yeah,
I think because we're not there is no there's no community. There's no it comes back to kindness. Everybody has become, let me just take care of me. Let me just look at
yes,
my own agency. Let me just look at my own autonomy. No one is thinking about the outside.
togetherness
No one's thinking about
and
togetherness.
village.
No, there's no
You,
village.
there's no village.
When you and I were growing up, we were thinking there was too much of a village. We couldn't step out. Everybody knew our business. The moment we stepped up, by the time we came home, mom and dad knew exactly what we did, who we did it, and we were like,
For
bloody hell,
sure.
these people are nosy. But there's none of that anymore. And I think I grew up with that level of you must be kind, you must look out. I still do that today. I
I
still
mean, and
do
it
that.
talks of that grounding that you were brought up with that. That was something that's in your cellular structure
It's in
is to
my
be kind
it's
because,
in
from the minute you and me as, we were, that was something that you did. And, I remember mum, whenever she cooked, she always made enough for one other person just in case. There was always
just in
enough for
case, the
one,
just in
just in
case thing,
case
just
you didn't
just in
know
case someone
who.
stopped by, or just in case, or you had enough, or all of that kind of stuff. And I think I want I mean I want our my kids to have that kind of mentality. And I think I put that in there somewhere, but their society and their environment and all of that is somewhat trying to erode it. And I'm systematically still trying to go, no, 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 no. But then
What do
I'm
you think the
realizing
answer is? Because I'm not convinced that there isn't kindness anymore.
I don't
I
think there,
just think that people are seeing kindness almost as a weakness
I
and
think they've been,
something that's
I
just
think
like,
they've
why
been,
would you do that
yeah,
sort of
I
thing?
think they've been told that I think people think when you're kind, that that means you're weak, as you say. Or they think when you say things like, well, I'm simple, they think you're stupid, or that kind of stuff. And I think when you show that, just because I'm kind, it doesn't mean I'm weak. It
Mm,
means I have decided that I am going to stand behind my principles because my principles mean something. And it doesn't mean that I am a weak individual. It means that I have something that is of value, and my integrity is not for sale, and it cannot be compromised, and it cannot be watered down, and it's
yeah,
not negotiable, and it's not something that you can put on because you have social media and because everything is so instant, and because everything is instant gratification, that it means that kindness is something that you you can just negotiate away. It doesn't mean that. It simply means it is complicated, but it is worth it. And when you have something that is complicated, then you fight for it and you stand behind it. And I think when our children and people see you standing and you're saying it is worth it, and I am fighting for something such as basic as kindness, and even though it may be simple, you need to stand. You need to fight, and you need to say, I am here, and my kindness is not for sale. It cannot be negotiated. It cannot be, you cannot buy it. You cannot put a value on it because it is priceless. It is simply priceless. And I will stand and I will die on that hill because kindness cannot be for sale. It cannot. It opens doors. Things like saying thank you and please, good morning, all
And
of
this was
these
something I was
things.
wondering. This is so inspiring. I just wish you need to be on a you need to be in a pulpit giving it all this because
No,
it's so
seriously,
true. So true. And kindness, yeah, I think that's that thing that you're saying about politeness is an offshoot and is the
it it
is
is.
part of kindness. It's part of that
It is.
balm that makes the wheels turn of the world, isn't it?
It is. Do you realize, right? When you go into a restaurant and you ask a waiter his or her name, do you realize the kind of service you get simply
Exactly. Exactly.
simply because you ask his or her name?
It's about being seen, isn't it? And I think
It
that
is
the other thing
about being
about
seen.
kindness is that you're seeing the person. And this is an interesting thing because it's been coming up a lot in my therapy work this week, is being seen. And not only being seen, but being chosen. Your kindness is saying, I see you and I choose to help you. I choose to give you the time. I choose to, and I think that's the thing about kindness, isn't it? That someone, because we've both had health issues and stuff, and we've both seen our people pull for us and come together for us with kindness and love. And there's something really special and moving about it, isn't it? When
It
people
is.
are, they're thinking of you and they want you to know how loved you are.
When you listen, when you like, even when you do, like when you walk down the street and you say good morning to someone and they turn around and you acknowledge and you say good morning and they look at you and they're like, oh my God, someone said good morning. They were like, and I'm
Yeah,
like, yes, I said good morning. And they're
yeah,
like, what? You said, someone said good morning to me. Yes, good morning.
yeah. I
You
see you.
say good morning. I see you. I acknowledge you. Good
Yeah,
morning. And some like and I do that. Like I walk and I say good morning, and someone says good morning, and like someone stops and said, "Did you say good morning to me?" And I said, "Yes, good morning." And they're like, "Oh my God, yes, good morning."
yeah,
And so and I sometimes and then you look at and they look at you like, "Wow,
yeah, yep, yeah. And sometimes it's almost distrustful, or they're a little bit worried. Like on a
yeah."
dog walk, it's quite interesting the people who will smile at you and say hi, or if you say hi, and the people who are like, oh no, I'm not speaking to you. And
I
it's like
like
literally I'm saying hi. But I have a friend who, when we go dog walking, everybody she passes, she says hi to without fail. And it's because it's coming from her. She sees them and is polite enough to say, you've passed me, you're a human being. So like you're doing.
I'll give you a perfect example. Let me give you an example. When I was growing up in Grenada, I was perpetually late for school. I mean, I'm like 15 minutes from school. There was no reason for me to be late, but there was a reason because my grandmother gave me these awful hairstyles. So I was trying to change the hairstyle, so I was always late. Anyway, there was this neighbor. My grandmother and this lady had beef. So I was running late. I didn't even acknowledge the lady because I was running late, so I didn't say good morning to the lady because it was late. It wasn't a conscious thing. My goodness, Dawn. The lady who my grandmother, where they were having beef, she went to my grandmother and said how they weren't even speaking. Okay? They were not even speaking to each other. Do you understand? They were not even speaking to each other. She went and complained to my grandmother how I saw her and I didn't say good morning. So I'm like, what? Anyway, I get home and my grandmother says something like, um, so I see I see you and Miss Something drinking from the same pan cup. So I'm like, what is she talking about? First of all, I had to make sure my hairstyle was back in that same awful hairstyle that she put it in, all of this stuff. So I'm like, what is she talking about? Not realizing that Miss Bailey went and complained to Miss Lee that I saw her and I
Yeah.
didn't acknowledge her. So I got a beating from my grandmother because I didn't say good morning to Miss Bailey, to the same woman that they have beef with, that I did not. You should not. What? Don't drink Bush for other people's fever. Another thing that I didn't understand as a 10-year-old. I'm thinking, what? So I got beaten because I did not say good morning to a woman that she wasn't even speaking to.
Do.
Let me tell you, the moral of this story was, okay, from then on, I was saying good morning to anything that moved.
Everybody at the place. Ah,
Everybody.
yeah.
It didn't even matter. It didn't even matter if it was alive.
Lamppost.
It didn't even matter if it was alive. It was just good. It was just good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm telling you, the lessons that you, the lessons from the University of Miss Lee. I was just saying good morning to anything that moved. So I just said good
Back in the
morning.
day, you would get a beating for something, and would be it was proper strict. And now, because of the lack of consequences, of which, a lot of modern parents, and I put myself in that, we're really bad at doing, because we don't want to be the generation that beats our kids, but then we don't know what the alternative is that will really hit them,
Can
taking the
I tell
photo
you?
of them.
And let me tell you, I was just like, are you kidding me? I got a beating because I did not, and it wasn't even intentional for not
It was a
saying good
it was a
morning.
different, it was a mad time, and it was a mad parenting time. We were parented by fear and
Fair?
borderline violence,
Can I
and
tell
just
you?
keeping
It was
everyone.
ins but I was just like, so now I just say good morning. Good morning. It doesn't matter. Good morning. I don't care what mood I'm in. I don't care. I don't care if the house is on fire. I don't care how if I go out now. I just say good morning. I don't care. Just good morning. You answer, you don't answer. Good morning. Sometimes I even say, how are you? You answer. But it's just good morning.
It's just been literally beaten into you to do that. Just beaten into you.
Us do it.
And
It's like the Nike commercial. Just do it.
what do you think the answer is to create more kindness, or to promote kindness, because there are kind people still
There
doing good
are a
things.
lot of kind people. I think, like with everything else, I think today a lot of, I think everything comes down to family. And I think, unfortunately, the structure of family has been broken down, or family feels they have no authority. And as a result, everything has been left to social media. And social media has a positive side and a negative side. And
Mhm.
a lot of enforcement and all of that stuff, a lot of family feels like they have no authority. And I think when family is broken down, or when family feel they have no choice, then they give away their power. And when you give away your power, then you lose your authority. And I think when it comes to parenting and parenting our children, I think we give away so much of our authority thinking we have to reinvent the wheel to do what we need to do with our children. And I'm speaking from myself. I mean, I gave away a lot of my power and my authority because I was sick, because I felt like I didn't know what to do. I was parenting long distance. There was a myriad of things. And then when you try to reclaim your power and your authority, you feel like you have none. Believe you me, that's a whole load of hogwash. You
Yeah.
have power. You have authority. You can still influence your kids. You can still influence your kids even when they're 32, 30, 25. It's a lot harder, but you can still make an influence, and you can still influence them as long as you're alive. Even when you're dead, even when you think you have power. But you can still influence your kids as long as your kids are willing to listen.
Yeah.
As
And
long as
sometimes
your
they don't look like they're listening, but it's landing somewhere.
yeah,
And then you see it pop out 6 months
long
later.
as your kids are willing to listen. And
Yeah.
I have learned that. And at first I felt like I failed as a parent and I beat myself up. Believe you me, I put myself to some sort of grinder and I did this wrong and I did that
Well,
wrong and
this is
da,
an
da, da,
interesting
da.
thing, Rachel, that in terms of talking about kindness, in that it's really easy to be kind to other people,
Aha.
not so easy
To be kind to
to be kind to
oneself.
yourself,
And then, and
which is,
then I, and then I realized, Rachel, you need to practice what you preach. You're being kind to every Tom, Dick, Harry, the dog, the cat, the spoon. Hey, what about yourself?
yeah.
And then I met this Dutchman. Yeah, him. And I met this Dutchman who was just like, you're very busy loving everybody. You're very busy being there for everybody. You're very busy doing all of that. When when are you going to start being there for yourself? And I had to step back for a minute. I'm like, what do you
Wow.
mean? You know, he's a very uh strange cat, but he is a very he is a very true cat and made me stop and think. He's like,
Mm.
you're there for everyone, but are you there for you? When are you going to be
Thinking
there for
ahead.
you? When are you thinking about you? When are you going to be kind for you?
Yeah.
You're busy beating yourself up about all of these things. But what are you doing about you? And even today when I was feeling a little bit sad about stuff about my mom and all of this stuff, and then I sent a text saying I felt like I've done something wrong, and and I felt like I've done something wrong and all of my insecurities are
Why?
coming up. No. I was just saying that because he said, I don't know, I just said that. And he immediately picked up the phone and called. And he goes, I'm busy, but I need to correct you about two things. One, I'm busy. But two, you have done nothing wrong. You have done nothing wrong. There's nothing to be for you to be insecure about. So could you just stop this? I understand that today is a rough day for you. I cannot be there for you, but you have done nothing wrong. So you really need to stop this right now, and I will call you back later. Is that understood? Okay, fine. Child, gotta go. Bye.
Kindness
End of
comes in
story.
many different
Can I
forms,
tell
doesn't
you?
it?
And in his case, it is brutal. It is not warm. It is not with this cozy stuff. I love you. It is nothing like that. It is like, listen, I am busy. Two, you have done nothing wrong. Stop this. I will call you back later. You are special. You have done nothing wrong. So
I
stop. I will
love
call you
that.
back.
I love that he just stopped that pattern right there and then.
That's it.
That's an act of kindness and love that
Right
you
there.
weren't.
And it was an act of kindness
Oh,
and love without the I love you and all of that. It was just
well, without the words "I love you,"
without the words I
but
love you,
it was so
but
"I
it's
love you."
certainly I
It
love
was
you.
so "I love
It
you."
was so
Just
I love you, but nothing with the none of the
well,
mush,
stop.
just
So
just
when he said that about, when are you going to start showing kindness to yourself, just for the listeners, and because it might give them a little bit of inspiration, what did you do
what did I do
to start being kind to
to
yourself?
myself?
What were the
I
steps you took?
I immediately stopped putting everybody ahead of me. And the first set of people I stopped putting ahead of me were my children. I immediately stopped. And as much as I love my kids, and you know I love them, I immediately stopped.
Can I
Like
just
that
say for the listeners, her
for
kids are late 20s,
my
early
yes,
30s. They're not like 6 and 7. She didn't leave them in the nursery and go,
your
screw them. They're
nieces are
proper
30,
functioning
your
women.
nieces are 30, 32, almost 30,
And
and
one of them is a
25.
mother. So it's not
And one of
like,
them is a mother.
you were
One
you were
of them is a
abandoning a
mother and married.
12-year
Yeah, yeah,
old.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So let's clear the record. They're not six,
Yeah.
seven, and eight.
Just
I immediately stopped. Let's clarify. I immediately stopped doing that. I immediately,
and what did
I
that look like? What does
immediate.
that mean though, when you stopped putting them
What does
first?
it
What did
mean?
that mean? How did it look?
It looked like before it used to be like for instance, I would be calling them, waiting for them to call me, all of that kind of stuff. What do they do? That kind of what are they doing? How can what do they that what do they need? Considering they needed nothing, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It was yeah, and that needed to stop. Um, always saying, always saying yes to things when I wanted to say no. So
Yeah.
I started to say no.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, the
I
novelist Matt
start,
Haig says that, doesn't he? That
yeah,
no is a yes to yourself.
yeah, I started to say no. I started to, when you feel like you must do something, and I'm like, why do I must do something?
Mm.
How about I don't want to do this? I just want to spend quality time with me, even if it means staying on my couch, even if it means going someplace just by myself. And I started spending more and more quality time with myself and started to appreciate me for me, not doing that. Let me run here, run there. Like I was a hamster in a wheel going absolutely nowhere. And I started to appreciate me doing Rachel and doing what I like. Uh, Going to the theater, going to the movies, going to dinner by myself. It was just about me. It was about loving me, just me. Nothing to do with anything about anything. And I love it.
And I love that
Uh,
for you because
yeah,
you are all you've got at the end of the
that's
day.
it. That's it. That's it. And and for the longest time, I was just like, and I I never thought I'm not a people pleaser. But at for a second there, I was thinking, I wonder if they're going to like me. Are they still going to like me? And then I'm like, wait, hold up, hold it, hold it, hold it. Because if I don't like me, because I kept saying, you can't give what you don't have. So if I don't like me, nobody else is going to like me. And you know what? I love me. And I had sacrificed, and I love me, and I had sacrificed way too much. And then I had a conversation with my daughters, and that was brutal. That was a brutal conversation. And if I could
For
have
who?
that, and if
Everyone?
I had a brutal conversation, and I told them if they can't accept me and love me for who I am and where I am now, then they can step out of my life and I will have no
Wow.
problem.
Brave. Such a pro you thing to have done.
Yeah, because I couldn't keep because I kept dipping in and out, in and out, in and out, and then every time I would be every time I would come back, I would feel every time I would come back from the States, I would be in this I would feel like I would need to be hospitalized. It would be that kind of
Your
toxic.
energy just drained from you.
My energy would be drained. I would be in this toxic kind of state, all of this kind of madness. I'm like, you know what? No, I have one life to live. I have done everything I can. I did not, I said to them, I was ill. I did not I did not neglect you. You know, it was an illness. I said, I may have been absent, but I was not neglectful. So if you guys cannot accept this, I'm not going back into my past because there's nothing I can do about it. But if you guys can't accept me as I am right now, I'm done. I am done.
Listeners, for the
Done.
record, Rachel has been living with bipolar disorder for a long time,
Yeah, for 20,
and it's wrangling that when, and with kids it
yeah,
was
yeah,
a proper
for
challenge.
24 years, for 24
Yeah,
years now. So yeah, so if you can't accept that, then I am done. And I am not the parent that you guys should be having this conversation with. And if you guys are grown, and if you guys can't have the conversation with the parent you should be having the conversation with, then that's it, normal. I am not the parent. I am not the
well, that's
parent.
ultimate kindness to
That's
yourself.
gonna to myself. That was,
To
and then
yourself.
when you're doing that, when you're doing that dramatic movie thing where you step it out of somebody's house. When you step in, make sure you step with your phone and you have your passport and all of that. So when you're doing that dramatic walkout, make sure you walk out with your stuff that you can travel with. Don't walk out and you don't have your phone and you
Then you
don't
gotta
have
go
your
back.
pass. You have to go back in. You
Sorry,
can.
like, you know what? Let's still keep this going, but also, can I get my phone, please?
Exactly. So so yeah, but God, and I have to say, in addition to my kindness and all of that stuff, the big thing that has kept me where I am now, my kindness and all of that stuff, the thing that has kept me rooted and grounded and has kept me centered in all of that has been my faith. Because without that, you would be saying, I had a sister and she looked like this. That's what you would have been saying. I
And
mean,
that's what faith does, doesn't it? I mean, and
yeah,
it's
my
been
faith.
proven that the happiest and the most content people have some kind of faith that they can hold on to.
Oh, my
And
faith, Dawn,
it's kept you
my faith has kept me
alive.
rooted, my faith has kept me alive. My faith has kept me rooted and grounded. My faith, I mean, I've written some letters to myself where God is just like, you know, without God, without God, you would be like, I just have a sister. She used to say this kind of nutty things, but without God, I would be nowhere. And, and it's really funny. Mia said to me, Mom, it was, it's because of your faith and the fact that allowed me, you showed me faith and taught me that I was allowed to go through the labor and all of this stuff. So it was so nice
Oh,
to
so the modeling, the modeling that
the
you do
modeling
for your
because
kids.
the faith, and I taught her how to journal and all of that stuff. So it was amazing to see that. But
That's so
Dawn, I'm
nice.
telling you, my faith, I I give God the glory every morning. I thank Him to keeping me everything or everything and for my family, my sisters, everything, and for bringing this Dutchman because he is
Yeah,
like no
he's
other.
he's
He's definitely,
He's another level. He's
he's on a
he's
completely
he's
different level.
he's top tier for you.
Top,
And before we
definitely.
close the podcast,
Mm.
we always end with Roger Murtaugh from Lethal Weapon. When do you
From
remember
Lethal.
Lethal Weapon? The guy Roger Murtaugh was played by Danny Glover,
Oh
and
yes,
he was paired up with Mel Gibson,
with Mel
a
Gibson.
complete,
Nutter.
crazy nutter, and
Yeah.
he would always see what he did and go, "I'm too old for this shit. I'm too old for this shit." So I like to end the podcast with a Rachel. What are you too old for this shit for?
You know what I'm
What
too.
are you ready to let go of, or what
You
have you
know what
let
I'm
go
too
of?
old for? I don't I swear it's maybe I am too old for this. I don't understand this this modern. I know language evolves and all of this stuff and everything, but I don't understand this when people are speaking and they're speaking in I don't know what it is. Is it slang or whatever it is? But I just simply do not get it. I don't get it. I don't understand. I'm constantly asking someone to explain. Like, why can't you just write thank you as opposed to TY? That pisses me off. Okay, why can't you just write no problem as to why no NP? These things really piss me off. I'm trying to figure out, is it me? What is this madness? I don't it's me. I think it's me. I really do think it's me. I think it's because I don't like slang very much. I don't like when people abbreviate people's beautiful names. I just think I have a big problem when people do things like that. I have a huge issue. So I think it's me. I really don't like it. As you can see, I have a really pet peeve. I don't
It's the
like
way
it.
that they'll say, the youth them will say TYSM out loud like that. But
What
thank you
the
so
hell does that
much.
mean?
Thank you so much. But it's the same syllable, same amount of syllables. You know what I mean? They
Just
haven't
write the
shortened it.
just write
Same
just
T.
write just write the goddamn word.
And do
I
you know what? With their
really
phone, they don't need to anymore. They
I
can just
don't
write
care.
TH.
I don't care. Write the word. Just write it. You write. I have to sit in and figure out what the hell you're saying. I think it's because when I was growing up, slang was not appropriate, so I don't understand it, and
But
I
this is the
can't.
thing. I don't know if this is slang anymore or if we are seeing a real evolution in language.
That is not an evolution in language. That is people being lazy and just taking the first letter of every word and putting it there and saying, you know, this is acceptable. This is not acceptable. This is
I'm going to
not
say,
acceptable.
you know what I'm going to say? FR, FR.
I don't know what the hell that means either.
Real for real.
So
Listen, on that note, old lady,
you see what I mean? There you go.
we're going to say goodbye, but thank you so much for sharing your words. And this is gonna, it's gonna be we're gonna have to do another podcast on what are the youth them doing, man? Really, seriously. But it's been lovely talking to you, and I really
Thank you so very
appreciate it.
much. Thank you
And
very much for
it
sharing
has,
your time with me. Oh
it's,
my
it's
God.
been so much fun. And I hope that everyone who's listening has really enjoyed this and got
I
something out
hope
of
so
it.
too. They got a little bit of everything, including actually, I sounded very grounded. So, cool.
You did.